What's up, Titan fans? How we doing? Welcome back to another episode from the What's Nation, also known as the What's Up Tennessee Sports Nation, where we're here to talk about the Tennessee Titans and how they've looked through these first 2 days of free agency. As you know, day 2 is coming to an end. Not much action so far on the Tennessee Titan front. Yesterday, we had a little bit. We signed Dan Moore, which we can look at real quick. Pull it up. Look, Dan Moore, he signed a 4-year deal with us, $82 million. And this is supposed to help out our offensive line, right? You know, our offensive line was terrible. Right side, atrocious. It's been, think about it. Andre Dillard, anyone you put over there, Duncan, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. So we ended up getting Dan Moore. We're going to put him on the left side, though. He's a career left tackle. So we'll take Latham, who played right tackle in college, moved to left tackle in the NFL, but now we're going to put him back to right tackle. And hopefully that fixes this offensive line issue we got going because, man, we need it. Even though not all of it's on the offensive line. There's been many situations where Will Levis just hangs on to the ball a little bit too much for us. So it just makes sacks happen. So it's not completely on the line. But, yes, Dan Campbell was signed yesterday. Not Dan Campbell. Dan Moore. Man, Dan Campbell. That'd be crazy, right? Get the coach from the Lions. But, yes, Dan Moore was signed yesterday. So hopefully this helps our our offensive line. We signed him a big contract, 4 years, $82 million. You pay him big money to be that career starter for you, at least, for the next 4 years. This isn't for, this isn't pocket change over here. Even though Dan Moore had a terrible year last year, right? He led the league in sacks. I think he had like 13 sacks allowed. So, but we still paid him big money. So we'll see how that works out. Meanwhile, yesterday we also signed Cody Barton, 3-year deal. Linebacker, help the linebacker core out. Yeah, in middle linebacker, we have Gibbons. We'll see if he comes back, right? He ended up getting injured, broke his ankle or something, so he's going to be out a while. Then, we'll just have to see. And if you look at how Cody Barton is, he's actually pretty productive. Each year, he has over 100 tackles 3 years in a row. 136 in 2022, then 121, then 106. And they also had 2 sacks in 1 year, 1.5. Obviously, he's not out there rushing the passer a lot. He is a middle linebacker. They typically don't rush the passer, not one of the edge rushers. And he has a few interceptions, so pretty good. 5 interceptions in the last 3 years, not too bad. But then for today, like I said, we haven't really done much. We signed a safety, Xavier Woods. He's a little older. He's 29, but when the season starts, he's going to be 30 years old. So he'll be back there with Amani Hekker, try to make some plays, help this team out in the secondary because we know we need some depth, especially at safety. We went into last season with a lot of depth, right? We had Amani Hekker, we had Diggs. We'll see if Diggs is coming back. Then we had Jamal Adams. It looked like we were pretty good, right? But as you know, as the season went on, we had no-namers back there playing safety for us. Hooker got injured like he typically does. He seems to be kind of injury prone. Diggs got injured. Jamal Adams didn't work out, right? He didn't even make it halfway through the season. This man was struggling in preseason to go week by week. So hopefully this helps out our safety thing, but still no big moves to really help us out in a lot of positions we need. Besides the left tackle, that's the one we really need. Then, as you know, Stonehouse is out of here, right? We got Johnny Hekker. He agreed to terms with us with the Titans. If you look at him, he's been around the league. He's been around a while too, right? He's 35 years old. He's a bit older for a punter, but punters can also punt to their 40, right? We've seen it many times. But he was with St. Louis for a long time from 2012. Well, St. Louis, then the LA Rams, right? From them to 2021, and then Carolina the last few years. So we get a long-time punter, which Stonehouse, I know he's a fan favorite punter for a lot of Titans fans. We love Stonehouse, because he had the strength, right? He can punt it 50, 60 yards. It was crazy. But he would always out-kick his punt coverage, right? It was all power, all leg, and it was just a dart down the field. Now maybe we'll get a little hang time back there, but hopefully he's ready to get Hekker is ready to get mad pressure, right? You've seen it game in, game out. Just pressure nonstop, right? Stonehouse is back there just trying to survive every time he's out on the field, right? He broke his leg or whatever. They hit him right in his leg when he was punting one time. Then he has punts blocked, it seems, on a consistent basis or pressure. It's just wild out here. So hopefully Hekker's ready for that. But, hopefully Bill Callahan, the older, the senior one, he can get this offensive line together after having them under him for another year. And then one of the crazy things, if you didn't see it, NWI, he's out of here, right? Long-time Titan right here, Mr. Reliable, always in the game, never injured, right? Always available, always starts the season as our third or fourth, or sometimes our fifth string receiver. Then by the end of it, he's wide receiver number 2 on the outside because everyone always gets injured. But he agreed to terms with the Dolphins. 2 years, $6.5 million, not that much. We could have brought him back, but hey, time to move on for him. So it looks like this is going to be a make it or break it year, especially for Treylon Burks. Who else do we have at receiver? Think about it, chat. Who do we have? We have Calvin Ridley. We have Burks. We have no receivers. Unless you're talking about like the practice squad, you're talking about Mason Kinsey, Bryce Oliver, who played some last year, showed some flashes. We don't know if Tyler Boyd's coming back yet. That's still up in the air if he's going to be back next year. So it's going to be tough out here for these. Whichever quarterback we get, whether we go the free agency route, which there's not much left. If you look at the quarterbacks that's getting picked up, there's not a lot of options if you go the free agent route. And then if you go in the draft, let's say Cam Ward, number 1. Who is he throwing the ball to? We ain't like we have a stud at tight end. Chig's okay at tight end, but we don't have like a dominant receiving tight end. We went and got Brock Bowers in the draft last year. No, we let him pass. We passed on him. And so, yeah, we got Chig. So we'll see how that goes. Josh Wiley, who, is a little slow. He's big. He's like 6'7", but he ain't out there making crazy catches. And then Vanette, was just a dime a dozen with these blocking tight ends. So tight end group not looking that good. Wide receivers not looking that good. The running backs, they're pretty solid, right? I feel pretty good with Pollard, and Tajay Spears back there. Quarterback, iffy. Line, hopefully it's good now, right? Cushenberry's going to come back. He was injured last year. Radin's on the line. And that's another thing I don't want, right? Radin's, his career, I think, is messed up because they move him around so much. They always did that thing. Radin's is versatile, right? He can play guard. He can play tackle. You can move him from the left side to the right side. He didn't have a permanent position, nothing to master, master that technique. Meanwhile, now we have Latham, who was on the left side all year, last year, and now we're going to move him back to right side, which he was playing in college. So this is moving him back and forth. Sometimes I think this versatility, they like to say it's good, but I think it also hurts, right? You're not doing the same thing over and over again. Switching things up, right? You just got to keep them where they are. But anyway, so you're probably going to have Radins out there playing right guard. You're going to have Latham, right tackle, center Quisenberry, left Skoronski, and then left tackle would be Dan Moore. So hopefully that offensive line is sealed away and it's a little productive next year. But yes, let's look at these free agents that are left, right? So if you're looking at Sports Track right here, they keep it up to date. These boys are good, right? If you're looking at who was signed already, Sam Darnold's the big one, right? Got a big contract, went to Seattle. Justin Fields is gone, went to the Jets. I like Justin Fields, still young, right? 26 years old. I would have been okay with him coming to be a Titan. Didn't want Sam Darnold at all, but next, Daniel Jones, he's out. He's off in Indy, right? So he'll be with the Colts, division rival. So between him and Anthony Richardson, they're going to be in the battle for the worst QBs in the NFL, as long as Will Levis isn't playing, right? Because we all know Anthony Richardson was sitting at like a 50% completion rate last year, which is horrible. Meanwhile, Dobbs, he signed with Mike Vrabel and those Patriots, right? Mike Vrabel likes him. He came to, to Tennessee during that time. Mike Vrabel was here, and he won, or came close, in some games. Played well. He's a good quarterback. Came in after just a few days, learned the system, and was productive. Mike Vrabel liked it, and he signed him now that he's the head coach of the New England Patriots. Mr. O in the chat says, hi, what's up, Mr. O? I see you over there. Welcome to the channel, brother. we were over here talking about the Tennessee Titans, who they signed, and potential signings in the free agency. Who's left, right? The quarterback situation is getting very, very thin at the moment, right? Nick Mullins, not really hyped about Nick Mullins at all, but he's now a Jaguar, so kudos to the Jags, right? Trevor Lawrence, up and down, supposed to be the franchise hero, some years ago when he got drafted. Hasn't been it. Now Nick Mullins going to be backing him up. Zach Wilson, he said, "Oh, I'm subscribed. Hey, I appreciate it, Mr. O. I appreciate it. It helps the channel out. Thank you for subscribing, brother." Zach Wilson, interesting guy, right? He's now over in Miami. We all know about Zach Wilson and what he does or who he does, right, when he was in New York. Meanwhile, Jacoby Brissett, I wouldn't want this man either way. Never impressed with him. I feel like he's a career backup, but he's signed with Arizona, going over to the backup Murray. So if you look at what quarterbacks are left, right? Trey Lance, I wouldn't be too upset if we got Trey Lance, right? He's only 24 years old. He's younger than Will Levis. Will Levis is 25. Granted, Trey Lance, look, 4 years of experience. He's been in the league a while because he got drafted so young. Meanwhile, you have Will Levis, who got drafted, at like 23, going 24 years old. So, it just is what it is. I mean, he's still younger than Will Levis, so. The Tyler Heineke, I wouldn't want Tyler Heineke, because we're going to have Tyler Heineke and Will Levis back there. Doesn't seem like a good situation. Marcus Mariota, I mean, we all seen how it was. If you watch a documentary from whenever he was in Atlanta, he looks like he just fell out of love of football. And that's how he was in Tennessee, right? I think he fell out of love of football in Tennessee. It just wasn't working out. He broke his leg, tried coming back. I think just a struggle in Tennessee just kind of ruined that man's career. But granted, I wouldn't mind bringing him back if we're just tossing the year aside anyway, right? Marcus Mariota, I'd pull out my old Mariota jersey. I'd wear it. I'd represent as long as Will Levis gives him back number 8. Hey, Marcus Mariota, I'd take it. Why not? For what's available, I'd take it. Drew Lock, not interested, even though I do like his swag, his college swag, baby. I'll take it. Joe Flacco, not interested, too old. 17 years of experience. We've seen him. I mean, he tore us up, right, when he was last year for the Colts. When he played against us, he played better than Richardson. Winston, I love Winston. I wouldn't mind him being on the team as a backup. I don't know about as a starter. Winston, love the attitude. Wouldn't mind Winston. Mac Jones, I mean, there's still potential with Mac Jones. I mean, he's only 26 years old. Still potential. I don't know if I'd want him. But, like, if it's another one of those things, like we're just building for the next year and you're just having a guy out there with him or Will Levis, I mean, really, what's the difference? I mean, I guess Mac Jones is a little bit more accurate. Wouldn't want Keenum. Rudolph don't want. Stick, Rush, Allen, Trask, Johnson, Allen. Russell Wilson, though. I mean, I think I might be okay with Russell Wilson if we sign him. I wouldn't be hyped about it at all. But I'd be okay with it. I think he's had a lot of good years when he was with Seattle. Obviously, when he was with Denver, it was really, really bad. Last year, though, with Pittsburgh, it was all right. He didn't do too bad in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, I know we ain't got the weapons. We don't have the line. We don't have a lot of things for him. But, I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind Russell Wilson, right? Bridgewater, no. Beathard, Ripon, Driscoll. I wouldn't want any of these guys. I mean, maybe Ritter just because he's young and you have potential. But, hey, I don't know about Ritter, right? Hey, over there, Castillo, I see you. Hey, I'm new and I'm also subscribed. I appreciate it, brother. Look, the subscriptions are coming in. Keep subscribing, chat. Don't forget to go ahead and like this video. It helps the channel out, right? The more people who like it, the more people more people see it, right? Then people come in here and everything like that. And you get the chat active. People start talking. So, but yeah, we'll see how it is. Because, when you see some of these quarterbacks for where they went to and how they're going to be, right? Sam Darnold. This is why I'm glad we did not get the Sam Darnold deal. Why we didn't do it, right? They paid this man a ton of money. As you know, his whole career, terrible in New York. Gets to Minnesota, has an outstanding career. I mean, or season. But granted, look at the weapons he had, right? Justin Jefferson, Addison, the good running back. They had a good offensive line, good defense. But now he's going to Seattle where they're just looking like they're getting rid of everybody. I mean, DK Metcalf left. I mean, they don't have anybody. Look at their running backs. They don't have anybody. It's like, it's going to be tough. I feel like he's going to go back to his New York days, and they paid this guy big money. Hey, Mr. O, I appreciate you for liking the video. Thank you very much. I love it. Love you, man. Mr. O. I hope to see you back in future videos. But yes, Dan Moore, like I said, 26, not that old, 26. Going to be 27 near the start of the season. So he's still pretty young. So we got Dan Moore, 4 years. So we'll get him up until he's about 30. So hopefully that pans out. Meanwhile, Cody Barton, just doing a quick recap, 28 years old. By this time the season's like midway through, be 29. Got him for a few years. Woods, he's a bit older, right? He's going to be 30 when the season starts, so we'll see how that pans out. But, I mean, he gets a lot of tackles, right? 119 tackles, but he's definitely no Kevin Byard, right? You look at these interceptions. I mean, how hard is it to get another safety like Kevin Byard? I mean, that's going to be impossible, man. We're definitely missing Kevin Byard on the field. Then you got Hekker, new punter. But other than that, I mean, free agency's pretty bare. I think we're trying to do, the GM came out and basically said it earlier in the season, right? They want to build through the draft. They don't want to do like last year. Last year, what we do? We were just, free agency was a frenzy. Signing Ridley, it was like getting Snead. It was one thing after another. Just, we got all this stuff on paper for last year in free agency, and we looked pretty good on paper. Season came around, dumpster fire. So now the new GM has a different plan, right? I think we're going to go through the draft, build through it. He said he's on a call with my friend. All right, hey, tell him to join in on the channel as well. Hey, the more, the merrier. But, yeah, build through the draft. I think that would be a good idea, right? If we could trade back, get some more picks, build through the draft, because we got a lot of holes to fill. And we need these young players to actually play in the games, because if you remember Mike Vrabel, he had that whole situation of where you had to earn your play time, right? He would give time to the vets. He would make draft selections, and he wouldn't start them. Even if they were, high draft picks, second, third round, he'd be like, no, he's got to earn it, right? We got to put the vet there. And I feel like players just got wasted away because by the time they got to play, they were already on their third or fourth season, or sometimes you really wouldn't even see them on the field. Then, they'd just get rid of them. It was like, dude, you got to give these young guys a chance. Let them play. Don't worry about this whole thing of making them earn it. You drafted them for a reason, and hopefully that's what these guys do. Hopefully that's what Callahan does with the young guys, and not just depend upon these vets, because, hey, the GM is bringing in a lot of young guys. That's the plan, right? That's going to go ahead and do it for today's episode. So, just make sure to comment down below on who you think we should pick up in this draft and if we should go quarterback or not. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the What's Nation. And as always, tighten up, baby.